Hey, girl.
Howdy, 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 my beautiful Taurus. How are you doing, darling? My name is SimplyVelca, and today I'm going to be getting into, Taurus, your weekly tarot horoscope reading for November 2021, darling. So if you find some cards that resonate with you in this weekly reading today, let me know in the comments which ones, because that's how I keep up with you, Taurus. As well as if you enjoy this tarot reading or you just enjoy my vibe for today, Taurus, I really would appreciate it if you were to give this video a like and subscribe, because it does help me out a lot. Keep in mind, I am just an individual reading tarot cards to you. You know your situation better. Tarot readings are just here to provide some guidance, some food for thought for the day, a perspective to consider towards never making choices in your life. Remember, these readings are always an all-inclusive, darling, whether you identify as he, she, they, them, anything inside or outside of that spectrum. This reading is going to resonate. This reading, I promise you, will resonate, darling. So let's just jump into your weekly tarot horoscope this week, Taurus. Let's see what predictions we can make. Let's see what's happening for y'all at this current point in time. As well as if you want to book a private personal reading with me, Taurus, my website's always linked down below, SimplyVelca.com, darling. Let's jump into this. Starting out your energy, we have here, Taurus, the Nine of Wands stepping forward to you. So I see you, Taurus, in this position currently of where you are having to really... I just keep hearing fighting, but I don't really necessarily, Taurus, feel like it's actual fighting in the sense that you're fighting somebody. It's more like you're trying to fight for a reason, Taurus, trying to fight for a reason, trying to fight just standing, keeping yourself afloat, keeping yourself standing, right? The Nine of Wands, Taurus, always represents that card of the wounded warrior, that card of where you're really having to take a stand with something, really having to how would we say, Taurus? It's like you're having to you're making like an unpopular choice, or you have an unpopular perspective on something, Taurus. And so because of that, I feel as if you are dealing with a lot of resistances at this time, a lot of challenging views, Taurus, a lot of opinions that just are not welcome, darling, right? So I really wouldn't be surprised on that spectrum. Let's continue on with you, Taurus. We have the King of Coins, King of Pentacles stepping forward to you, Taurus. So I do see for you guys, Taurus, the more that you choose to fight and stand strong in your conviction, I see you being rewarded for this tenfold. I see you, Taurus, whether you're battling some challenging thoughts right now, maybe for some of you, it's a sense of insecurity in terms of where your future is going to lie, Taurus, in terms of just your overall stability, how things are going to pay off, if your investments are going to pay off, Taurus. I see for many of you, Taurus, is that as long as you maintain in this Nine of Wands energy of really standing tall and, you know, being okay with coming off as making like the perceived unpopular choice right now, Taurus. Because here's the thing, you're not looking to be popular, you're not looking for approval from those, Taurus, that are not really understanding of what it is that you're trying to build, right? Because it's building energy when you have the King of Pentacles stepping forward to you. You're building something, you're thinking more so in the long run. You see the bigger picture on things, Taurus. And so I do see for many of you guys, like, it pays off in tenfold for you to stand strong in this. So don't get in your head at this time, Taurus, even if this is all just internal thoughts, right? Yeah, even if you're having your own doubts, you trust in the process, Taurus. I really feel inclined for many of you, Tauruses, it's just about making like some type of unpopular choice, unpopular decision, or, you know, choosing just to also, Taurus, just be very unapologetically yourself as well. Being very unapologetically yourself. I feel like I need to tell some of you, Tauruses, to don't be afraid of standing out in the crowd because of this Nine of Wands. That's an impression that I am getting. Let me see if I can move this mic a little bit closer, honey. Yeah, don't be afraid of standing out from the crowd, Taurus, because you're not there to please people, Taurus, but at the same time, your uniqueness is what people will be attracted to. I feel like many of you, Tauruses, are going to find people, especially as the King of Pentacles. You know, the King of Pentacles doesn't build their empire by themselves. They are perhaps, like some would say, that as like the mastermind, or you have the vision for it. But, you know, the King of Pentacles, Taurus, is all about knowing where to delegate and how to delegate as well. And so when energies come in to help you, Taurus, don't be afraid of receiving that. All right, let's continue on. We have now the Four of Wands, darling. This just turns into more beauty, darling. Beauty after beauty after beauty for you. Four of Wands. This is the card of marriage, right? If you look at the artwork of it. And so For some of you Tauruses, if this is about some type of relationship in your life and where you're not really getting the approval from other people, or many people, Taurus would be saying to you, trying to take you to the side and be like, that's a red flag, I'm not sure about this person. Or even, again, I like to be all inclusive because it's not just about love, it's not just about business for people. So I always try to get all the messages in there, Taurus, that, you know, with that Four of Wands, even if this is like you have a vision for what it is that you're trying to build up, that would bring forth a lot more stability into your life. Definitely something more passion related. It doesn't feel as if this is something that's like a 9 to 5 here with these two Wands cards here. I feel as if it's like a decision on building yourself up from something that's just is out of the norm. Four of Wands is that card of where this is quite literally what it is that you're destined for, Taurus. You're quite literally destined for this. And so really continue leaning into this energy, darling. Continue leaning into this energy, and just know that you are going to be successful at whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah, I just feel as if, you know, this is very, something is different about you, Taurus. You know, there's something different about you. In this energy this week, just from based off of how you've been drawing from these cards, Taurus. I feel as if I don't know if you guys recently had like an aha moment, Taurus, or just the realization with something, and just like almost like a divine download of knowledge on like where it is that you need to be taking your life, Taurus. It's like you have a newfound sense of direction, I feel, for many of you, and it's just like welcoming this knowledge. Again, it's like Mastermind just keeps coming forward for you, Taurus. And so I really want to say, honor your thoughts at this time. You guys have a vision for what it is that you want to build, and it's beautiful. All right, you're really being celebrated for your mindset. You're being celebrated, Taurus, in terms of really just like the business oriented side of things, Taurus, and how you can see things from a very matter of fact. You see things very clearly. We have here the Ten of Swords stepping forward to you. So for many of you Tauruses, this is a case of where you're having to work through a lot of past pain. I really wouldn't be surprised, Taurus, if this is a week where a lot starts bubbling up for you, Taurus. In terms of, you know, perhaps you felt, you know, as like the analogy of like falling off that bike, and then ever since then, when you get on a bike or a motorcycle or anything reminiscent of a bike, darling, you just have that trauma, you have that PTSD, darling, you start getting those flashbacks, right? I see for many of you, that's the biggest challenge for you to overcome, is to really put a closing chapter on some phase in your life that still carries a heavy burden with you now, whether it's how you identify yourself as, Taurus, or whether it's just a situation that something that you need to just snip away at. That's just like, you're no longer of service to me. You're doing nothing but taking away my energy, taking away from my greatness, and just choosing to snip away at it, right? Because the tens represent closures, and so when you have the closure card associated with swords, it's just putting to rest anything that is bringing you that mental tax, all right, if that makes sense, Taurus. So definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if many of you guys are just cutting ties with a lot of things. Doing, some of you may be feeling called to doing some cord cutting as well, Taurus. I do feel inclined to say as well that I feel like there is some type of, I usually don't go into this narrative just because I'm aware that a lot of people might not have the type of alignments that I do spiritually, but I do feel as if there's something like attached to you, some of you Tauruses, whether this is spiritually or just like actually just some presence in your life that is taking away from your energy. This could be someone that is just distracting, or just that voice in your ear bringing doubt, or this is just, again, those harboring thoughts. So definitely do some cleansing this week, Taurus. I feel like you could do really good at that as well, even though it's interesting for me to say that just because I feel like there is something very different about you. And then we have the Tower card, darling. Yep, this is what I was sensing, darling, this Tower moment here. You're starting to see things very clearly now, Taurus. You're starting to have an understanding of what it is that is no longer of service to you, even if it's with yourself too, Taurus. I feel like for many of you, Tauruses, you're stepping into further alignment with what exactly you need to do to get your life started, to get your life jump-started in some avenue. You're taking care, you're cleansing a lot, you're clearing your space. I wouldn't be surprised, it's like some of you Tauruses are going to be doing some you would do very well at doing like some farewell messages and just like sending off and be like, hey, I'm going to be going off across the country finding myself, and farewell, right? It's like many of you guys are doing some type of farewell experience with something. Some of you guys, I also feel as if some of y'all, now I'm not a vegan myself, but so I don't feel like I'm pushing that message, Taurus, but I feel like for some of y'all are feeling really inclined. I feel like something's like changing in terms of your diet, perhaps, or something like that. Like you're really evolving, Taurus. You're going through such a transformational time. And I know that's such a, I'm sure you could receive a bunch of readings that say the same thing, Taurus, like no matter what part of your life you're in. But I really do feel like just the energy of what it is I'm tapping into and who it is I'm tapping into, Taurus. Many of you guys are going through such a major transformation with yourself. So cleansing, doing spring cleaning early, darling, right? Getting rid of a lot. And yeah, you're seeing things differently. Hanged man here, Taurus. Excuse me. With this hanged man moment, something did happen, probably late at night for you, Taurus, that put you in this position now where you're just like, you can't continue on in the same way. You can't pretend, like you see life differently now. You see a situation differently. And because of this, it's like you can't go back anymore. There's no going back, right? And so now you're in this position of being like, well, what does this mean for me? What steps do I need to take? How do I need to take these steps and all this? You have all these questions right now. You're searching for clarity. You're searching for some type of guidance right now, Taurus. And so definitely look to, think energies that you can trust. I definitely feel like many of you guys need to be referring to some of your spiritual forces, your spiritual team. In this regard, Taurus, whether that's your ancestors, spirit guides, certain deities that you work with, I feel like a lot of y'all would benefit from a strong guidance from a spiritual force, some spiritual mentor, someone that you look up to or that you respect, Taurus. So let's get some more cards. Four of Pentacles, I keep on, this is the card of investments, Taurus. So you guys are in the process of making some really strong investments. It might feel a little bit risky initially. You might still even it's like you're swiping the card on something. Now, again, I'm not a financial, I'm doing some cards, darling, right? And so I'm not giving you financial advice, but it feels like you're swiping the card on something and you're like internally cringing, like, ugh, it's just like, ooh, this is gonna hurt, honey. But at the same time, it's like, this is exactly what it is that you need to do. That this is gonna pay off in tenfold. And that's why I keep on bringing up like this message of like a mastermind, Taurus. Like I feel as if like you have a vision for something, you're making some sacrifices, you're trying to save money where you can, but spending it in the proper places that are going to build up your future, build up to greater investments, right? To build up that stock that actually will pay off in tenfold, right? You may not be having this flashy week, Taurus, where you have a lot happening in the physical realm, but it's flashy in the sense of just like spiritually, just where it is that you guys are evolving to, Taurus. Are we taking this? I feel like we are, actually. We're going to be taking this, Taurus. So I celebrate you guys for that, Taurus. We have the Nine of Swords coming in for you. And now I kept on sensing this Nine of Swords while I was shuffling. I would always see it and I felt really drawn to pulling it, but then I was like, it'll come if it needs to come, right? Because it was in the back of the deck. It was anytime I was shuffling, I would like laser in on it. I was like, maybe I should do it, but I didn't. Two of Cups stepping forward as well, Taurus. And then the Six of Cups stepping in. Darling, Taurus. So this is in these three cards individually, or rather together, without separate from the rest of this, Taurus. A lot of you guys are having some type of anxiety. This is exactly what I was honing in on, Taurus, of like some type of energy, being some type of leech, being something, Taurus, that is just taking from you. And you have suspicions of this as well, Taurus. And so allow this to be a sign that from your spiritual team, from whatever, darling, right? That even if I'm considered in that spiritual team of yours, that there is something that honor that gut feeling. You're not crazy, Taurus. Don't and you'll know the exact situation, right? I feel like you're able to differentiate between what's just like general anxiety. Like we all have anxieties, we all have these internal fears that we need to work through with relationships and risks and all this, right? But then there's something else. It feels like you're seeing red flags. It feels like for many of you guys, Taurus, it's like with that Six of Cups energy here, you've been partnered with this energy for a long time. This gives me like as an analogy, like a toxic friend or some like a family member or a long-term friend that has slowly turned, I don't even want to say toxic, Taurus, because that villainizes the energy. And some of y'all, and I'll leave the villainizing up to y'all, right? It's not my job to. For some of y'all, this is like an energy which you really just outgrew greatly, Taurus, and you're starting to already notice signs of that probably in the past few weeks, maybe a few months even. Has it been a few months that you kind of just have let this energy just slide by? You got to do away with that, Taurus. You got to do away with that. There's something in your mind that you consistently have anxiety about that's really holding you back. Into new partnerships, Taurus. That's something that I do see, into new partnerships, into like whatever it is that you're doing into the future, Taurus, whether it's partnerships, whether it's just, anything career oriented and what have you. I just see this lingering anxiety from something from your past or something that, does a disservice for you trying to do anything new. It's like someone that is unintentionally, Taurus, trying to keep you down, keep you low to their level just because you're outgrowing them greatly. And I don't feel like this is necessarily their intention, Taurus. I feel like this is just an homage to just how fabulous your energy is at this time, that people are really grabbing in on it, not wanting to let go of that, Taurus. And so I feel like, this is a lot of cord cutting I sense happening for many of you Tauruses this week. A lot of cord cutting. Let's get a moon oracle card. Are y'all going to be doing anything, Taurus, by the way, for the full moon? We have the balsamic moon, a time for healing. A very fitting thing for you, Taurus. Very, very fitting thing for you to be receiving at this time. I feel like, you guys are going to definitely be going through a lot of shadow work this week. I feel as if as well, like as you continue on with this journey of the Nine of Wands, Taurus, it's going to be extremely healing for you, where it's just like, it's like you're taking all the blows right now. You're taking all the risks. You're doing all this, right? And it's just like a lot of heavy things, taking all these scars, taking all these battle wounds. And there is going to come a point where things shift in that regard, where it's just like it all starts paying off and you're like, this is what I've been fighting for, this is what I've been holding strong for, and it just is very reaffirming to you, very healing for you. It's almost like a lot of you are gonna have like this emotional release Taurus, where you're just like, you've been keeping this pent in while you've been taking this burden. Once you're able to relieve yourself of this burden for however way, you just have this massive release of crying, and it's so beautiful. So Taurus, that is the weekly tarot reading that I have for you, darling. Hopefully you found some cards that resonate with you. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like and subscribe, Taurus. Remember that I also do private to personal readings on my website, linked down below, SimplyVelca.com. Next to my social medias, TikTok and Instagram, also being SimplyVelca, my beautiful Taurus. But until next time, darlings, I love you so much. Bye.